Before we jump in, let's be real. This podcast contains jokes, laughter, and a whole lot of real talk. Yes, we cover serious crimes. Yes, we add a little humor, but never, and I mean never, at the expense of the victims or their families. If you're sensitive, easily offended, or the type to clutch your pearls every time someone laughs during a true crime story, this may not be the podcast for you. But if you like your true crime with a little bit of spice, a lot of honesty, and just enough petty to keep it fun, welcome to Melanin Mysteries, baby. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Melanin Mysteries, where the tea is hot, the cases are cold, and the killers usually bold, broke, and trifling. Now, this week, we headed to Colorado, and trust it ain't for no scenic views. It started with a former boxer, a woman trying to move on with her life, and a toxic relationship that should have ended with a block number, not a body bag. But baby, when ego, addiction, and obsession collide, somebody always ends up dead. Let's just say he couldn't handle being left, and she never got the chance to live the life she deserves. So Willie's over here pacing the room already because the crack era foolery in this case, it's embarrassing. The math ain't mathing, the lies are loud, and the audacity is off the charts. So let's get into it. The Colorado case that left us all asking what happens when the gloves come off and the monster steps in. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm your co-host, Willie. We're about to have fun with this one. Let's go.
So it's just one of those nights you just want to chill and not be bothered. Your girl got her dude over there and they going at it, disturbing your peace. You ain't even got no man. So she stomps off, and next thing you know, you hear somebody banging at your door like they the police. God damn it, it's this nigga you thought you got rid of. Why is he here on your doorstep late like this? Now he hollering and screaming, asking who that nigga is on your couch. Excuse me, sir? It's too late for all this mess. You just want him to leave so you can finish your evening in peace. And next thing you know, so
Damn.
Paula Lynette Edwards was born January 12th, 1966 in Winona, Mississippi. Didn't find much information about her background or family. She was one of seven children, and at some point during her childhood, they moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado. So she was described as having a huge heart and everybody loved her. She lit up a room and she did fall in love early, and she became a mom at just 18 in 1984 with her daughter Lamaya, and then the following year in 1985 she had her second daughter Tanea. Everyone says she was an amazing mom. Her daughters remember her as always laughing and dancing, and unfortunately her relationship with her children's father didn't work out, so they separated, and she was working as an STNA. And did we mention like Pam was beautiful, like that classic 90s fine? So she had no problem finding a new man. So October 21st of 1990, Pam married Eugene Edwards. So Eugene was a basketball player, and Pam's daughter said that he played in the NBA, but I couldn't find any NBA players by that name. But anyway, they said that he did an amazing job as being a stepfather to both of them. But you know how it is. NBA really stands for never been alone, because these married ballers always got a starting five and a bench waiting, even though they got a wife at home coaching the team. And of course, that would cause tension in the marriage. So they did the whole makeup to break up thing for years. And sometimes they would see other people. And on one of those breaks, Pam met Jamal, aka Sammie Denson, at the gym.
Okay, let's talk about good old Sammie Denson, right? Jamal, a.k.a. Sammie Denson, was born October 28th, 1965 in Tiffin, Georgia. But he grew up in North Philly. No information on his parents or if he had any siblings. So from what I read, he had a pretty rough upbringing, tough neighborhood, back in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? All the niggas had it rough. He did graduate from Simon Gas High School, and at some point, he moved to Colorado City, Colorado. He does have several children, daughters Summer, Brittany, Nisha, and Quanisha, and sons Jamal and Starlin. Oh, that's a unique name. His legal name was Sammie Denson, but he converted to Muslim faith and took the name of Jamal, which is what he introduced himself to Pamela and her kids. Sammie was a boxer, and he was on the way to the Olympic trials in 1992, right? So Sammie and Pamela started as a whirlwind romance, fast, intense, all-consuming, until love turned to control, passion, twisted in punches, and in a honeymoon phase became a horror story of DV, not BV, DV. Just want to clarify in case y'all don't know. He was controlling and obsessive. He couldn't even look at Pam, and Sammie would flip out. Like Pam's daughter recalled one incident where They were all at one of his fights, right? So he probably was doing like little exhibition fights or whatever the case may be. And he looked into the crowd and thought that he saw a man give Pam some googly eyes. He jumped out the ring and beat up not only the man he thought was looking at Pam, but then also the other dude as well, right? And look, now this ain't funny. I didn't mean to laugh at this part. A horrible segue. And after he was arrested and was able to bond out, he came back to the hotel and beat up Pam in front of her children. So this nigga was knocking everybody out that night. Mm.
So he black your eye on Tuesday and he buy you a Louis bag by Thursday, like a purse could cancel out a busted lip. So the kind
Sound
of
like P.
sorry that
Diddy.
comes with a price tag, not a conscience. And somewhere along the line, he was introduced to crack, not cocaine, crack.
Wait,
He
hold on.
wasn't.
Wait, hold on. Did you say crack?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, man. Let's talk, girl. Go ahead. Crack. Go ahead.
So he wasn't introduced to crack. Nah, this wasn't no casual sidewalk deal. He met crack cocaine full government. First name pipe, last name problems. And to the listeners who get offended when we joke about it, baby, go light a sage stick and mind your trauma or something. So the crackheads ain't mad. They too busy trying to pawn your air fryer.
Exactly, man. I do. Let's talk about crackheads real quick, man. Did you know? Look, I miss crackheads, man. I told you, and I think I said this before, and I gotta emphasize on this, man. Crackheads were so resourceful, helpful, and everything. Like back in the day, if you had a good, like, a good crackhead that can fix your car, like literally, you could get this dude like $10 and he'll replace your motor. You know what I'm saying? These new drugs, they done made people so lazy. Crack gave you energy, gave you like Red Bulls, it gave you wings, man. I don't know what's going on with these new drugs that they get out, these designer drugs, man. But I'm all for bringing crack back. What you say? Okay, I guess that's a no.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pam and Sammie went. They were going through it, and at some point, Pam, she just could not do it right. But it was understandably it was way too much, so she broke it off. And mind you, she is still legally married, right? So her and Eugene were on one of their breaks, and Eugene, he like, look, man, I want my wife back. But Sammie was not going to make it easy for him. Eugene said that once Sammie bashed in the door, coming into the house, knocking it off the hinges at the house, that's that crackhead strength right there. He said Pam jumped up and literally ran and hid in the closet. The kids were right there and they saw everything, right? And they're terrified and they're clenching on to Eugene. So he gets them tucked away somewhere safe and goes to his wife and a crackhead out the house, right? So he got to get his wife out and this raging crackhead out the house, right? He said, I get up and I met this man at the top of the stairs and he was saying, where's Pam? He was rummaging all around the house looking in closets, but when he didn't find Pam, he ended up leaving, right?
So just off topic, what do you do when you have a crackhead in your house? 'Cause I mean, I know you want to defend your house and your
Man, hide
woman,
your
but what do
VCR,
you
just
do against a crackhead?
you can't. Man, look, crackhead strength is unexplainable, man. I'm telling you, they could do some things. A crackhead can lift up a car, you know what I'm saying, and lift it up. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the Cadillac converter from the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said that when crack that was when drugs was, yeah, that's when they took their time and invested in making good drugs, man. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, Eugene said Tammy would stalk him and Pam. They would be out together, and that it was like a constant presence, was making it hard for them to get their marriage back on track, which I can understand. You trying to get your marriage back on track, and you got a raging crackhead. First of all, I'm looking at you like, him? Seriously, him? This dude right here? You went on a break with me for a crackhead?
Well, he wasn't a crackhead in the beginning, I'm sure.
No, he was doing crack during that time. Trust me, he ain't just all of a sudden. Crack was in his system. Trust me. Pam did what she was supposed to and got a restraining order against Sammy. But a restraining order, ain't we know this ain't nothing but a piece of paper, kind of like a diploma. Looks official, but it doesn't stop anybody from acting a fool, right? So on February 2nd, 1993, Eugene and Pam had spent the night at Eugene's granddad's house, and he had come to bring Pam home that morning. When he pulled up, Sammy is already at the house waiting on him. Now, how you know where my granddaddy live at, man? That's what I want to know. That's what I'm saying. How you know where my granddaddy live at? And demanding that Pam get out the car and go with him. Eugene said he told Pam to stay inside the car because he was scared that Sammy had a gun. But Pam told him she would be okay and got out the car and that she would call him later. And that was the last time Pam was alive.
So the night slash early morning of the murder. It was February 3rd, 1993. And Pamela, she had a friend and her son who had fallen on hard times, and they were staying with her and her daughter. So Gwen was her friend's name. And then Gwen had a little friend named Freddie, and Freddie had come by. So Gwen and Freddie had got to arguing. It's late. Pam probably came downstairs because she wanted them to keep it down. She probably had to be to work in the morning, and she didn't need nobody waking up her kids. So she comes downstairs and probably told them they would have to keep it down, or Freddie was gonna have to leave because it was too late for all that loud mess. Now Gwen ends up going upstairs and she makes a call. So Pam's still downstairs. She's talking to Freddie. Now, mind you, it's after midnight, so Pam is in her bedclothes. So she hears banging at the front door. So I'm sure she's confused, like, who the hell's at my door in the middle of the night? So she's like, hey, who is it? But all she hears is this banging. So now when the crackhead Casper is Sammie doing popping up at Pam's door in the middle of the night like a ghost with a pipe dream. Not only has she had to get up and separate some grown folks like they her kids, now she got to deal with this crazy ass nigga in the middle of the night. So he hollering and screaming, asking if she fucking that nigga. She like, what? How do you even know a man is here? This man said me was watching her through the window like a crackhead Disney villain, eyes
Right.
wide, breathing hard, plotting murder with a side of paranoia and a pipe smoke.
Mm. Good
In his
old crack.
crack-induced haze, he pulls out a gun and just starts firing off shots. He shot Pam 4 times, and Freddie also caught 2 shots.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm kind of wondering what type of crack he was smoking. Know what I'm saying? Because yeah,
That was the early '90s, man. They
yeah,
was
yeah.
still
I don't know.
down
Yeah,
bad.
I think somebody laced his crack because, geez, man, this does
No,
not look like typical crackhead behavior. Usually, they come over at 12 o'clock trying to sell you a what you call that, a faucet. Know what I'm saying? Or like maybe a bar stool or something like that. Just a random item or whatever. They don't come with violence. Know what I'm saying? Now they'll steal some stuff, but crackheads usually ain't violence. Yeah, that's kind of
what
suspect.
books you be reading? Yes, they do be. You make a crackhead mad? Oh, you ain't never seen the crackheads fight? They do be violent
Man,
sometimes.
usually they fight over crack. I'm just saying the crackheads I knew, what they were just they were just
You know
very
how many people
humble.
was in jail for violent crimes during the crack era? It was a whole lot of them.
Man, a lot of look, man. We not about to go into that part of it. But I'm telling you, the ones I know, okay, were the ones I grew up and I saw. They were really never violent. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I wasn't bound 24/7, but I'm just saying, man, it's a possibility his crack was laced um with something else, man. Because he would just yeah, crap's supposed to put you in a daze and calm you down, and yeah, this nigga he going crazy. But anyway, Gwen was upstairs when Sammie busted in the house, and she had called 911 because she was used to Sammie's crazy outbursts and didn't know what he would do next. So she reported as a domestic violence call. Then she heard the gunshots go off. Remember, we are in 1993 and cell phones weren't widely used. So she calls 911 again on the landline, but hangs up because she doesn't know if Sammie is still in the house. And she then gets scared that 911 will call back and alert Sammie that someone else is still there and, he'll come up there looking for her. By the time Sammie was already gone. For the moment, Gwen, she makes a mad dash and runs out the house into a neighbor's house where she's able to call 911 and report gunshots, which escalated dispatchers to the house quickly. This call was made at 1:58 a.m. So when they get to the house, the front door is wide open. They come in, guns drawn, also ready to blow somebody's balls off because they don't know what they're about to find. They, you know what I'm saying? They just hear gunshots. Well, hear that it's gunshots, and this is definitely in the early '90s when they didn't have what you call that cameras on the what you call those the cameras whatever. So they they're ready to kill somebody. So Pam is at the bottom of the stairs in a fetal position. Blood is everywhere. They find Freddie on the couch moaning for help. Remember, Freddie was the boyfriend. He got shot twice. They rush both Pam and Freddie to the hospital. Upstairs, they find 3 children huddled in the bedroom, who they find out to be Pam's daughters, Lamaya, Tanaya, and Gwen's son as well.
It
Gwen
was
runs
Tanea.
back.
See, you messed it up too. It was
Gwen?
Tanea. See?
What? Tanea?
Yes.
Oh, well, oh, my bad. Well, Tanea, my
Oh, because
bad.
you tried to throw me under the bus. See, the guy don't like ugly.
I know he don't. He don't. And this nigga right here ugly. So William runs back to the house after this officer arrived, and she tell him what she knows, but it was actually Tanaya T. We're gonna call her T. And it was actually T that ID'd Sammie to the police. She had actually seen everything go down. Oh, that's horrible. Mm-mm-mm.
So She said that her mom had made her and her sister go to bed earlier that night, but she had woken up when she heard the banging on the door and she went to see what was going on. She was on the second floor and was able to see Sammie barging in the door. And when Pam answered, she said he was yelling about a man being in the house and he just pulled out a gun and started firing. Tanea was just screaming. She said she was in shock. She couldn't move to go get help. So when she was able to snap out of this, she ran back to her room and woke up Lamaya and told her that their mom was dead. So they had both ran to the bottom of the stairs and Pam was laying on the floor. So Lamaya said it seemed like Pam was trying to talk, but there was so much blood everywhere. Then they said they saw Sammie run back to the house and up the stairs. So they both went to hide, and Sammie was just upstairs changing his clothes, like he was late to a party. Then he ran back out the house. And they were able to tell police that he was wearing a blue Olympic jacket. Now, unfortunately, Pam did not survive the shooting, and she was pronounced dead before arriving at the hospital. She had sustained 4 gunshot wounds to the arm, the abdomen, hands, and a fatal shot to her chest.
Rest in heaven. Rest in heaven. At the scene, there was spent 380 shell casings in the court, blood and blood splatter all over belonging to the victim. And they also find a handwritten note addressed to Pam from Sammie. He would talk about how hard the breakup was for him and that he missed her. He told her that he was literally obsessed with her. Without you, I can't breathe. And then signed his name, right?
Dumbass.
Right, I know, right? Now they know they are looking, they know who they're looking for. They have a name and a description. They have the whole Colorado Springs Police Department on this crackhead butt. Around 3:50 a.m., 911 dispatchers get another call. The caller says, I just shot 2 people. I'm sorry. And he hangs up. By now, everyone is aware of what happened and who they are looking for. There were only 2 people that had been shot just shortly before the call. They traced the call back to a payphone and dispatched officers to the location of the payphone, hoping he is still there, right? But he a crackhead. So what you think? You think he gonna be there? We about to find
It's
out.
a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, right. So officer pulls up to the payphone, sees nobody. The payphone is right next to a convenience store. He happens to look inside the convenience store and sees 3 men sitting inside. And one of the men stands up and he's a tall black man wearing, guess what? A blue Olympic gear jacket. Officers immediately call for backup. They had about 10 cop cars there and they were outside the store within minutes.
So Sammie comes outside and one of the officers said, quote, if you move, you're dead. Oh, okay.
Damn, told you,
So
man. That back in that they did not hesitate back then. I was surprised he told him that much.
right. So Sammie was on that rock and suddenly he thought he was in the finals of the crackhead game. He cleared 2 fences, lost his shoes, still running like the pipe was at the finish line. The cops said he was moving so fast they almost let him go out of respect.
Now those are crackheads I know. Those are crackheads I know.
But they finally caught up with him in somebody's yard. Now they say adrenaline is powerful, but crackhead strength, that's a whole different beast. It took 10 fully grown officers to bring Sammie down. That man was fighting like the pipe was in his pocket and freedom was on the other side of a third fence. And when they were finally able to detain him, they did find crack in his pocket, a pipe, and a screen used for smoking crack.
Man, that's crack, man. See, that was back in the day when, crack wasn't gluten free and all that good stuff. That was when they just put all the preservatives and added, I'm saying, things in the crack.
But
So,
it took 10 off to take
yeah.
down one. Like, that's
That's
crazy.
a lot. That's a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But remember he said he was a boxer, so he probably had probably was had a little strength in him and everything like that. But man, that
Yeah, but
crap
then
when
you
that when that
combine
cra-
that with crackhead strip. Oh,
when they crack in
hell.
your system, ain't no telling what you hit or what you miss them. That's what they be yelling. Anyway, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, first-degree attempted murder, 2 counts of crime of violence, 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. So that's great. They even charged him for the crack. They
They
was
told
still
you. They said we did you on ed
they
charge.
yeah
We
they charged that
can.
dude for the crack, the little bit he had in his pocket. There were still some officers at the convenience store, and 2 men who Sammie had been sitting with came out and approached him to speak with him. Richard Will, who was Sammie's boxing coach, and Ruben Carl, who was Sammie's bail bondsman that had just gotten him out of jail on a previous incident. So they probably were trying to have a what they call that intervention with him in a convenience store.
Ready to turn heads from the block to the bridal aisle? Then you need something custom from My Crafting Dreams, where we take your kicks and carry ons from basic to blinding. We're talking fully blinged out Crocs, slides, Jordan 1s, Air Force 1s, and even bog bags that'll have folks stopping mid stroll to say, "Where'd you get that?" Celebrating a birthday, getting married, hitting a girl's trip, or you just want to let the world know that you don't come to play. Let us customize your look from head to toe, literally. Visit mycraftingdreams.com to place your order and follow My Crafting Dreams on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook to see the magic for yourself. My Crafting Dreams, where your shoes, slides, and bags stay blinged, bold, and built to be seen.
They were both asked to come down to the station for interviews, which they had no problem doing. Richard explained that during this interview that he knew Sammie, aka Jamal, because like we said, he was his boxing coach. He said that Sammie walked in the gym one day and wanted to box. Richard took him in and said Sammie advanced quickly in the boxing world. He won state tournaments, regionals, and then went to the finals all in the first year. So the dude had natural talent. He had hands. In
Mm-hmm.
1993, he was ranked number 3 heavyweight in the nation. But he said he had no idea when Sammie started using crack. Look, let me tell you, man. I would be like, if I was Eugene, I would have been pissed. Not only did you get a crackhead, but you got one that could fight too. You got a crackhead that was
Man, can
ranked,
you imagine him fighting over crack? He'd be knocking niggas
man,
out
knocking
left
him
and right.
out, bruh. Not yes, he Deboing for the pipe. Oh man,
Debo with a pipe. Yeah.
Debo on
That's
the pipe. All
So, but
right.
he said he had gotten a panic call in the middle of the night and Sammy was incoherent. But Sammy asked if he could come by and pick him up. So Ruben and Sammy pulled up on Richard and he got in the car. And it was clear that Sammy was high as a kite. And Ruben told Richard, quote, "This is some serious stuff." So Sammy was in the car like waving around a gun. And Richard said he slapped him and told him to put the gun away. He said Sammy did. And Richard was able to convince Sammy to stop at a convenience store where they could all sit down and talk so he could find out what happened.
Yeah, wow. Sammy told Ruben and Richard that he went to Pam's house and he saw Pam and Freddie sitting on the couch and he just flipped out. He knocked on the door. When Pam came to open, he busted it in, knocked her down, and pointed the gun and shot her. Now look, this is horrible, right? And this is why from this point on, I can be very foul and disrespectful to the man, right? Because his exact words were, "She broke my heart, so I blew hers out." That's cruel right there.
Like the things that they be saying about these women, like it's like the hate is
I
so
mean,
strong.
yes,
Like remember
but
Michael Jace, he says if she like to run out, she can run her ass to heaven or something. Like I
oof.
was like, my God.
Yeah, I mean it's sad though, man, because I mean it's worse now though. Like I'm not trying to be funny. I mean the end it was bad, but now with the social media and the people pushing the agenda about that's pushing the agenda against black women and how what I'm saying all these like podcasters and everything coming out talking about black women this and black women this. Like I really honestly see like it's so crazy how these black men really have this
Hate.
unfathom hate towards black women. Yes. Like seriously, like it's crazy, man. So yeah, thank God you light skinned. Anyway, Ruben and Richard told Sammy.
That make me exempt. You don't like my ass either.
Ruben and Richard told Sammy he had to report what he did, and that's when he made that 911. Sammy had the gun on him when he took off like a track star. But when he was found, the gun was missing. They searched the area with K9 units, but they could never find the gun. So they never found the gun. This nigga was running so fast. When he hit one of them fences, that bad boy probably flew out his pocket and went in somebody's kitchen sink. So I'm just saying, ain't no telling.
So during Sammy's initial interview, he asked if he would like to waive his Miranda rights and talk about what happened. Now, Sammy was higher than gas prices, but still had the nerve to ask for a lawyer like he was on the episode of Law and Order Pipehead Unit. Sir, you just ran barefoot through 2 yards and body slammed a bush, but go off with your Miranda
Well, I
rights.
mean, he got rights. He great. Granted, he a crackhead that kills, but he still got rights.
I like it, a crackhead that kills. So it wasn't until February 9th that Freddie was able to give a statement. He had been shot in the forearm and the bullet entered his chest, and then the second bullet had grazed his forehead, but he was able to ID Sammy in a photo lineup.
Now that's the man we need to feel bad for. Freddie was just over his chick house, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just a slight argument. You know what I'm saying? And a crackhead come in, mad at your friend, girl, and then you end up getting shot. I know he like, man, you know what? it's a possibility that God is telling me I shouldn't be with you. Because God work in mysterious ways. Won't he do it all the time? Now, was that good? No?
Just keep going.
Anyway, Sammy got arrested the same dang on day. They didn't even let the crack wear off, right? By August, he was already on trial, like, yeah, Your Honor, I did it. But can I get a Newport first? You know what I'm saying? You know, the 90s didn't play. Justice moved faster than Sammy hopping fences. Sammy team entered a not guilty plea. The defense didn't have a gun, but they had a slew of witnesses that testified, including Freddie, Gwen, Lamaya, and T. Ruben, and Richard. I ain't saying that girl name. I'm not about to get cussed out by our listeners. He was ultimately, convicted on all counts. First degree murder, attempted first degree murder, possession of a controlled substance, aka crack. And he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or him being able to smoke crack again. And I think that was one of the hardest parts for him when reality hit. So Sammy had tried several times to get an appeal. However, his appeals have been affirmed or denied. He did apply for post-conviction relief, asked for a lesser charge of second-degree murder, which will basically commute his sentence and he will be let free on time served. Now, mind you, we have witnesses, right? Confessions, all that. In 2008, he wrote a petition to the courts asking for financial assistance to get forensic transcripts to prove his innocence. He needed the financial assistance because he only made $41 a month in prison at his job. And they said that he also does OnlyFans in prison, you know what I'm saying, where he sell Boochie Cat pictures for pack of smokes and ramen noodles.
He did have an inmate, the inmate dating account, but it was taken down when I went to go look at it. So, but since being in prison, he
Wait,
has gotten
wait, wait. Why
clean.
were you looking at this inmate? You about to send him a message?
It came up during the research, sir. Came up during the
Ah,
research.
Tiffany, Lord Jesus.
So anyway, like I said, since being in prison, he has gotten clean. He got baptized in 2010, and he has started numerous organizations inside the prison. Now, he also wrote a book in 2019 called "No Money, No Justice." It's on Amazon, which highlights his environment growing up in North Philly and how it equates to the injustice that he has received as a black man in prison compared to his white
All right, let's
counterparts.
stop right there. First of all, look, bro, we not about to feel sorry for you. You are a very strong crackhead that can fight, and you cannot take no for
And
answer,
kill,
huh?
and
And
kill,
kill. Well, yeah, no, I'm gonna say that. You can't take no for answer. You kill somebody in cold blood because you are enraged because you think she with somebody.
because you peeping Tom, had you not been peeping in her window and minding your black owned
Yes,
business, your crackhead business, she would
your
still be
own
alive.
crackhead business. Then, not only did you take off on 10 cops in Colorado, which you already know what I'm saying? They was all from the, know what I'm saying, mountains of whiteness, know what I'm saying? And you was able to jump fences and run from them and not get killed, not get murdered, and you have the audacity, the crackacity to actually say that you get your treatment was different than white folks in jail. You deserve the worst that happened to you, brother. Real talk. I'm just being honest with you, man. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how many books he sold. Was it a good seller? Did you gonna get it?
No, I'm not buying that, and it's not on Kindle, so no. It will have to be on Kindle Unlimited actually for me to read it.
Don't read that nigga
But I
book.
don't. I have a thing. I'm not about to sit there and listen to you whine and complain because you was strung out on crack and you killed somebody.
I mean, that's
I
what I'm
have no
saying.
sympathy
Now, it'd be
for you
different if it's a situation like the what's they call them, the Central Park Boys, something like that, where they literally didn't do nothing. They got railroaded. But we
exactly.
talk
Yeah,
about, so
that's
yeah,
one
nigga,
thing.
we
But we know you
we
did
know
it.
you did it.
You
Yes,
said you did it.
yes.
You've confessed and said you did it. Like no, I
And they
have no
found
sympathy
crack
for you.
on you,
I'm not.
dude. And they found crack on
Yeah,
you.
because you was high. That was the whole thing. So he has not one, but two changed out org petitions. Now, both of these are filed by two different women,
Oh,
and they're both claiming that he's serving time for a crime that he did not commit. Crazy, right? He did it. Ain't no the nigga did it.
who are these women? Who are
Right.
these
So
women?
I was trying to find. So look, I was trying to find on one. She was from the
I know.
yeah, and the other one she was one of us. And I'm sitting here like, hmm. Okay, I was trying to find, couldn't find anything on social media, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Now, one of them mentions that he turned down an 8 to 16-year plea deal. Now, I never saw any documentation to prove the validity of
that's a
that.
cap.
Right.
That was
But these
cap.
women are literally out here acting like the DLC is eHarmony. They got free men with jobs, cars, and Wi-Fi, but y'all fall in love with somebody who's doing life with no parole. Talk about that's not king. Ma'am, your king got to ask another grown man to use the phone. You ain't got a soulmate. You got a cellmate with penmanship,
Exactly,
okay?
man. And
Like,
let's be honest, man. Look, there's two things that usually a black prisoner gonna find, especially one that's been in jail for a long time. He gonna find religion. You know what I'm saying? He gonna find him a big white girl that's gonna say she. Then they gonna get out.
hold on.
Not even-
We'll talk about that in a minute, but it ain't just that ain't even the case because just in the last not even 24 hours, I done went down a whole rabbit hole. But
oh
we'll talk about that
man!
later.
But usually it's the women from the big draw community that be linking up with these
Nope,
dudes.
nope,
No,
can't even say that.
it.
No.
Oh man, well
My
look,
research is
look.
totally different. I got a lot more to
I want to
do.
apologize to the women from the big draws community because I did not mean to offend you, but I just from what I thought it usually is the women from, the women who got that little white thing in their elbow because they don't put lotion on it. I just assumed. My bad.
You know what they say about people who assume.
Uh, what do they say?
You know, they say people who assume that makes an ass out of you and me. You know, that's what they say
I
about us.
don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
It literally
I don't know what
spells
you're
it
talking
out.
about, Tiffany. Let's
Okay,
proceed.
whatever. So anyway, these women be like, on today's episode of As the Cell Turns, Tyrone tells three women that they're his queen, writes a love poem on toilet paper, and proposes through a letter scented with ramen
Mm,
seasoning.
beef.
Meanwhile, his bunky's coaching the whole script like, nah, bro, tell her you dreamed about her last night. It works every time. And outside, she posted, my man, my man, my man, while he's sharing his noodles with a trail.
Mm.
So tune in next week. He promises to start a t-shirt line, a trucking business, and a podcast, all from behind bars. Now let me pause you right there for just a second because I fell out writing this because
It is true
I
though.
was talking to I was talking to Amar last week and he's like, let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you how to get business credit, like how you can leverage $1 million in business credit without even using your credit. And we need to start a podcast called Me and My Killer. I was like,
Me and my this. Oh my! Are you serious?
I swear on everything. I swear he did. And as I was writing this, I was cracking up because I'm trying to tell you, the man be trying to give me business tips all the time. And he's like, okay, I'm going to put you on with this person. Did you call? I ain't called
Man, look,
nobody.
Liz, tell you, look,
No,
man,
sir.
we ain't trying to have you on the episode here. You know what I'm saying? Don't. Well, it'd be like my thing is, where was all of this when you was out? You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm
Where was
saying.
this
And
at?
I'm telling you, he be trying to give me all time. And then he was giving me stock tips yesterday. And I'm just
Because
sitting
you
there
know
like,
what? They ain't got nothing to do in jail but to read. They read and listen and look. So I'm being honest with you. They probably the stuff he's saying probably right. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest.
Some of the stuff, like some of the business ideas, I'd be like he has given me some good business ideas. I won't hold you, but I was just cracking up because they really do be having like all these ideas. But and I did find that there is a whole podcast that is run from prison. It's a few of them,
I know
and
Suge Knight got one.
yeah, and then there's another one. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm like, so yeah, like I'm just like. Yeah, but yeah, that just had me cracking up when I was writing that. But anywho, if you want to look him up, Sammie Denson, he does have a Facebook page. It's ran by his cousin, I believe.
Oh,
She be
jeez.
sending him like, yeah, it's a wild time. It is Sammie, and yeah, just go scroll through it. It's hilarious to say the least. Like that. That's all
Oh
I can
my
say. It's
goodness,
just
man.
funny.
Hey, look,
It's just
Bucci
funny.
Cat Records INC, we coming out with a new dating show. You know what I'm saying? Called A Love Behind Bars. So if I know it's a couple women out there listening, that's single and don't have nothing to mingle with. You can send me a DM and I, you know what I'm saying, put you on. Anyway, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was the case of Sammie. Hiding in the bushes, hopping fences, sweet talking women through bulletproof gas, and somehow still asking for a lawyer like he was just on the run, and Socks Denson. Ooh, that was a lot. A true crackhead love story with a hard stop at prison gates.
Mhm.
Oh,
So okay, so I just want to share some information that I found because this had been plaguing my mind. I don't know why for the longest time. Like I have always
what was
wondered.
in that crack?
No, what is it like? What makes crack so much stronger than cocaine when literally all you do is add baking soda and water to crack? From what I've been told,
Oh, okay. So
you know,
look
I
at you.
read
What
hood
he
books.
told? What he
That,
told you that also?
I read hood books. That's no, that is where I have a PhD in hood books, and that's what they say. They say you get the cocaine, and then you got to get the Pyrex, and then you got to get the water and the baking soda. So I was always trying to figure out what made crack so potent. Like it will. I'm like, what does water and baking soda do? But so I was completely on the wrong path, and I finally asked and found out the real answer. What is the difference in crack and cocaine? So the difference is cocaine used when you snort it, it has to go through your bloodstream and it takes longer to get to your brain. So that's why the high lasts longer. And it's a different high than when you smoke crack, because when you smoke crack, it goes immediately to your lungs and to your brain. So the high hits you a whole lot faster. So you get a whole the dopamine hits your brain produces the dopamine faster and you get that euphoric high real fast. But then the high comes down really fast because it's such a quick thing. And that's what the problem is. It's how you ingest it, not how it's made. And I was
Oh,
like,
okay. Well,
oh.
appreciate you in that lesson of
Mhm,
crackonomics.
mhm.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that to let everybody know, just in case y'all want to try it. At least now you know what happens, man. I just don't understand
So
how
basically, cocaine is safer if you're gonna do
you
drugs.
said what?
It's cocaine is if you want to say quote safer than if you do crack.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
true. Know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, oh man, crack is at an all time low right now. So if you're gonna do it right now, you'd probably be able to get it
My
cheap
auntie, she's
prices.
still smoking crack.
You said what?
My auntie still smoke crack. She about 70, but she's still smoking
And
crack.
look, 70. Know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, and probably will outlive all of us. Know what I'm saying? It like it insulates your
I ain't trying to be
insides.
funny. Out of my grandma's 7 children, there's only three of them standing, and she's one of
Yep,
them.
that crack man keep you
And she's
alive.
one of the older ones. Hmm.
Yeah, you gotta do it. But nah, you made me forget what I was about to say. It was something about crack, man. So let's get to our lovely segment called
Love, Lies, and Alibis.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So our love lies and alibis
Oh, you
question
ready
of the
today?
week was, yes, I'm ready tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not.
Do you believe in love at first sight, or is it just a fairy tale we tell ourselves to justify bad decisions and lust-induced choices?
Mm. All right, what about you? Do you?
I've been agonizing over this all week.
Mm.
Okay, so so I've always been I'm a bibliophile, so I love a good love story. And in all the books, this is probably why I'm single now, because I'm expecting a man from a book to come and sweep me off my feet, but I don't think he exists in real life. And it's always in the book, like, well, not always, but a lot of times, that there is love at first sight. And that's actually where this question came from, was a book that I was reading called Spin by Diamond Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to her. I love her. Um and the question was actually asked in a book, and I think that it's extremely rare. And I mean, like, I think it's extremely rare, but I do believe it's possible. And I think that it's like a once in a lifetime experience. And I don't think that everybody gets to experience that. I don't like, and I think like it would really have to be like a really deep feeling, like an emotional, spiritual connection that you just so happen to have with this one person that just so happens to be your person. Like I said, I think it's literally like you have a better out of being struck by lightning than having love at
Dang.
first sight. But I think it's
All
possible.
right, I get you. Gee, well, we know Sammy found love at first sight when he saw that crack rock.
Hit the crack pipe.
You know what I'm saying? And he ain't been the same since. He's still been chasing that love. But on a serious note, I believe it is, because I'm telling you, it's so many people that I have known personally that met somebody when they was in high school and they still together and they said it was love at first sight. You know what I'm saying? So those are actual true love stories. And I think it's possible, because at the end of the day, everybody has their one. You know what I'm saying? Some people have two, three, but everybody has their one.
No, I don't believe you have two, three. I think
No,
that
no, no,
you
no, no, no,
think
no,
that
no,
they're
no.
your one,
Back up, my light
but
skinned partner. I'm not saying everybody's supposed to have their one, but I said some people go to you've been through multiple relationships where you thought this was it.
but they but that but they what I say exactly. I thought they weren't my one. I thought they
Yeah,
were, but they weren't.
you corrected me when I'm saying the same thing, Sister Sledge. I agree with you. People assume or think it is, but when you have that one, I believe that's how you be knowing when you got that one. So yes, I believe that's true. Does that happen? No. And be honest with you, I don't think nowadays people mix love with infatuation. So I don't really think people truly even know the true definition of love. And I don't think people really like they I don't think people I don't even think a lot of people are really looking for love. You know what I'm saying? They're just looking for companionship. You know what I'm saying? So and that's two different
And to
things.
add
Huh?
another aspect, I think another problem is that we have too many barriers in the way. Like first and foremost, people don't even know who they are or even have the self-esteem to love themselves. So if you don't have that, you can't love somebody else. So I don't think that you can even I think you have to be like in a really connected space
Yeah.
to even experience love at first sight. Like to even like purely experience love, like I really believe you have to be in a certain
I
space.
believe that in a lot of situations you got to get hurt because you got to. I'm sorry, you got to. That's just life. You got to get hurt. Then once you get hurt and get over it properly, then I believe it opens you up to be able to receive something like that, and it'd be more successful, or you know what I'm saying? It'd be more successful.
But and I think that goes along with, like I said, like getting to know yourself. Like, and I'm like, because you know how like it's always said like, oh, you pop out of one relationship, like you just get into, what do they say, like the best way to get over one man is to get up under a new one. So, and that's like, that's what things say, like it's like it's frowned upon to be single. And again, one of my other favorite authors, shout out to Nako, in one of her books, she said that singleness is a gift. And I remember for the longest time, I was like, what is she talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, it's a gift. But when I really had to decide that, look, I'm just going to take this time and I don't want to be involved in anybody, you start to realize that it is a gift and you really start to understand who you are and what you really want. And when you take off the blinders, you can see the red flags clearly. But when you're always bouncing from one relationship to the next and you always have somebody, like you wake up and you like, I don't even know
Yeah,
who
you got.
I
I
really
believe.
am. And
Yeah,
like that's the
everybody need to
whole.
go through that season. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I mean, you really do. And like, people are like, oh my God, like you don't get lonely. Like you're not, no, like I really am enjoying the time that I have by myself. Like I was doing this Bible plan. It's called Waiting by the Brook. And it's like, what are you doing in your season of waiting? Like, are you anxious for the next thing or are you just enjoying the time that you have in the moment and where you are? Because I think we're always looking for the next thing and we're always looking for love. And I'm like, if you're always looking, you're gonna find you when they say you go looking for things, you're gonna find them.
Yeah.
And what you're looking for is not always what's meant for
Ooh,
you.
there you go. All right, there we go, man. Look, write out your journal. Let's go to some of these listeners. All right, Shannon Janice, what she said? My name is pronounced like a twirling baton. Shatan, is that it? Shatan? Who the Come on, bro. I believe in love at first sight. And look, this is look, no, y'all aggravate me when y'all be trying to pronounce the name like it rhymes with this. That doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? Give me a nickname to call you, like T Bone or yeah, yeah. Anyway. I believe in love at first sight. I think it's rare. I experienced it before, but only once. However, I also believe that a lot of people mistake lust for love. I agree. So they think they are in love
Hmm.
when in fact it's just deep lust. Okay, and that was from whatever her name is.
So I'm gonna go to one of the guys.
What's his
So
name?
Roy says more like thirst at first sight, in my
Mm,
opinion.
okay.
And I can see
Yeah.
that. Um,
Erica Mahone said, "I believe it's possible, but most people who say love at first sight are just infatuated with the person they think they see. That representative. There you go. Most people don't know themselves enough to be aware of their own intuition and emotions to really comprehend those sparks they experience that they think is love at first sight. Just my opinion. Oh, Erica, first of all, I appreciate the easy name, and I appreciate that because that's true. That's true. All right.
So Lakita said, I've never experienced it, so I won't say I don't believe in it. I wouldn't believe it if it did happen to me because I'm skeptical like that and watch and listen to too many true crime stories. I honestly believe more times than not it's just lust and or trauma bonding at first
All
sight.
right, Shamia, know what I'm saying, aka my biggest hater. I'm joking with you. I appreciate you. She said no such thing. So she said this, it ain't even possible. And we'll read two more. Go ahead.
Okay, so Eric says, I think it's a fairy tale. To truly love someone to me requires knowing
Eric, I agree
someone.
with you. I agree with you, man. Because again, a lot of times you dating representatives, you are not going to know the true person off the first date. I am so sorry. No, no, I'm saying nobody's going to be
Listen,
genuine self.
I I think I don't think it's if it happens, like I don't think it's I think it would have to be like this deep rooted just feeling that you get when you look at that person. Like it would be like, because I don't think when you say
It's the
love at first sight,
tequila.
I
It's
don't.
the tequila. That's all it is.
Okay, so I say if, and this is in my mind how I think it happens. Like I don't think there's any words exchanged. Like I think in my romantic fantasy mind, you're okay. So me, I'm on the beach in Jamaica, and I look up, and we lock eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, is that him? And then he's thinking the same exact thing, and then we
But
start
my thing
talking, and the
about that,
conversation flows perfectly, and then like 3 days later we get married, and then we're married for the rest of our lives. That's how in my mind it will go if it
okay,
were
and
to
that's
happen like
exactly
that.
that's Stella got her groove back. All right, and that's a movie. So,
No, that was not how
oh,
Stella got
she
her.
ain't. I
Well,
thought that's how Stella got her groove back.
no, that was not how Stella got her groove back. She didn't even like. She wasn't even trying to talk to Winston because he was a little
Oh,
boy. And then, if you really know the whole story, you didn't see the book that the husband wrote
oh,
after
I don't know. Called.
her husband was
Oh
really
yeah, how he
gay.
got his Bucci. Let me quit.
Yeah, 'cause I read his book after Terry McMillan's book.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
it
mad.
was a
All
whole
right, we got
thing.
one more, and we're gonna go to Lakita's locks. So I guess she does locks.
I just
Yeah.
said
Oh well,
hers.
you know what? We gave her too much promotion, man. You gonna have to make sure you cash app us. We mentioned your name twice. Oh, let me go go to Miss Dragon the Wagon, Yvette Jones. I believe it's possible, and I believe it rarely happens. I mean, again, I believe it's possible. I do. I think it really happens. But all I'm saying is when it does is rare, and I believe it between two people. When it does, not all the time, but sometimes two people who have been through life, experienced things, and know what they want. Know what I'm saying? Like they know what they want. But again, when they experience some type of hurt and they got over it, but did it the right way. And I believe you get two people, they meet, they talk, they have a conversation, and they see they on the same level and ain't no BS to it. Yeah. If two people could be transparent and honest with each other, I believe it can happen. But you gotta be your authentic self. You know what I'm saying? From day one. And I don't think people really
But again, I say when
they
you
don't
say
know
love at
themselves.
first sight, I don't believe that you actually talk to them first. Like that's the thing. I don't believe there's any words exchanged. But again,
So you said
like
just
I
by
said, I really
looking?
think they say it's love at first sight. What do
Oh,
you
I
mean?
mean, I guess
There's
that's right.
love
I
at
guess,
first
yeah, that's the
sight.
reason I need to read,
Yeah,
huh?
but
Okay, my bad.
my thing is this. I said again, I think you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning
Gee.
than to experience love at first sight. Like because especially just let's say with how we are as people, we don't even know ourselves, let
I know.
alone to be in that pure place to experience something like that. So that's just me though.
Okay, okay, no doubt. Well, there we go. That's Love Lies and Alibis. Remember, we post the questions on Tuesdays. Please make sure you join our group on Facebook, Love Lies and Alibis. We are a family. We have fun. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany muted me for a while, so you know what I'm saying? I gotta
I didn't
yes, she
mute
did. She
you.
muted me, y'all.
Stop
I ain't been
lying.
able to really say nothing, but she let me off punishment. So we about to have some fun. We're
Whatever.
gonna do a live too. We got to do a live. Also, like I said, join. We'll read your questions. If you don't want your name mispronounced, give me a nickname to call you, and I'll do that because I'm not going through the whole. Okay, well, you just the I is silent. You know what I'm saying? But when you say the J, you got to put a little bit of spin on it. I'm not doing all that. All right. I'm saying it how I see it. All right, period, point blank. If you don't like it, instead of your name be Taquisha, just say, hey, just call me T Dog. And I do that. Make it easy for me. Anyway, go ahead. What else you got? What we got? What we got going on? What I do? I'm just trying to help them out. All right, I left her speechless. So I'll say one last thing. Um, we got our 1 year anniversary coming up. Yes.
Before
Oh,
that,
my bad.
see, you know, you skip this while I don't let you do nothing because you can skip
My bad.
everything. Okay, so yes, we finally have our date for Saturday. Yay! But if you're not in the Melanin Mayhem or Melanin Mysteries Facebook group, you won't know the
Join the group.
details. So
Yes. We having a meet and greet.
Yes, yes. On Saturday, June 14th, we will all be in Atlanta. It's a melanin mashup. This is gonna be so fun. Melanin Mayhem and Melanin Mysteries will be in Atlanta on the 14th. But like I said, if you're not in one of our groups, you won't even know what's
Exactly.
what. So make sure you're over there so you can pull up on us. Um, from there, again, our 1 year anniversary is coming up. Our official anniversary is the 1st of July. Like, I cannot believe it has been a whole year of shenanigans. We love it here and we love y'all so much. So on July 12th, we will be in Cleveland celebrating with a family picnic. Come out, bring your family, bring your friends. Like I said, everything is free. We're gonna have a DJ. We got some special guests coming, and I'm not even gonna tell you. You're just gonna have to be
It's
there to
gonna be
see.
nice, man. Real
And then when
talk.
you see the videos later, I mean, you're gonna be salty that you didn't make it.
Exactly.
But that's just that. So it's a free event. The details are posted all over our socials. And I think we do have a couple vendor slots still available. If you're interested, also, if you're interested in ad space, that is still available. You can send us an email at podcast@melaninmysteries.com. If you have case suggestions, we would love to hear your case suggestions. Y'all been sending them to me and I appreciate it. I am adding them all to the list. You can email us those as well. Or if you have a suggestion on the love, lies, and alibis question of the week, that would be great as well. Um, do I
No,
have
that's it.
anything else? Okay. Well, again, if you've made it with us this hour, oh, I do have one more thing. If you have been enjoying the podcast and we appreciate all your support, if you could just drop us a 5-star review wherever you listen to us at, whether it's Apple, iHeart, Spotify, we would greatly appreciate it because it does help the show grow. Just a 5-star review. And like I said, we love all your comments that you've been leaving us as well. So we have so much fun with y'all. Like we just, like I said, we appreciate it so much that y'all even take the time to listen to us. So this just started
I
something
know. Look
fun.
at us now. Yeah.
All right, so that's all. That's all I got for real this time.
All right.
Is
No,
there
that's
anything
it.
else?
Take us out.
All right, so just remember that love should not come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom and not felonies.